You know, with Marathon, there's a lot of concerns about gameplay, new things, story, all these things, but my biggest concern is Bungie. I'm not concerned that their gameplay is gonna be bad. I'm not concerned that their balancing team is gonna be bad. I think they're gonna do a decent job on making this game feel fresh and fun consistently. But I'm worried that Bungie isn't listening as much as it may seem from the like developer interviews that they did with the content creators and like dropping the NDA. Like all of this feels like they're listening, but you know, you can never be sure with Bungie. That's something that I've learned from my years with Destiny. My first reaction to when Bungie revealed Marathon was that, well, the devs are really like, they're talking, they're giving information, they're talking to YouTubers, they're doing all these interviews, and now they lifted the NDA, so maybe the devs really are listening, and like, that's really good, right? And that was my first reaction. But like recently I've been thinking, like, they're still hiding way too much. Like, people are not gonna be excited for the things that they're hiding because we don't know what we can find. Like, we have no clue how they're actually going to tell the story. I mean, they're even saying the story isn't even really made yet. So like, how are we going to get excited to find things that don't exist yet? They're not even integral to the actual game. Because, I mean, they're not made yet, so they have to be not that important to Bungie. And then I saw a lot of the interviews with YouTubers. Some people asked, like, what are the things that I can find that are exciting? And really, they just said, we're not gonna answer that too much. There are things that make a big difference, and that's all they said, really. And I think that that's really a missed opportunity, because I don't think that they should be hiding stuff this much. Like, it's a completely new game, and while it is an extraction shooter and that has some precedent for different things, it's really going for a different vibe when it comes to loot, of the strength of the loot and stuff like that, and the way it works with like build crafting and stuff. But like, you gotta tell us a little bit what exists for us to get excited, you know, start build crafting already. And like, from what I've heard from YouTubers, it could be really excited, but like we've heard of like, I don't know, I've heard of like 4 or 5 gold mods. Like, that's not enough to completely start build crafting. So really, I think that Bungie needs to reveal more items, and I hope that this alpha that's coming up has a good amount of that in the game. The NDA being lifted though is an amazing decision. I don't know what the fuck they were doing before that. It really was not how it was supposed to be. Like, that makes no sense. You want your community to be revealing what's in your game, so people that are skeptical but still hopeful are going to find new things that they want to do themselves. So like, lifting the NDA is a good decision, and it again gives me hope that maybe Bungie is listening this time. But like, Bungie has often had this like thing where it feels like they're listening, but actually a few months later they end up doing something really dumb that needs to be changed again. Like, the story of Destiny really has so many of these options. I don't remember any off the top of my head, but like, there's been so many times where I feel like people were giving this feedback, and then that exact thing that they were giving feedback about happened again and again and again. Like, please get rid of this, and it just kept getting released or stuff like that. And really, that I feel like that's happened a good amount of times. So it sounds like they're listening, but like, I'm scared that they're not actually listening. Or, well, scared is maybe the wrong word, but like, generally I'm worried that they might seem like they're listening, but actually they're not. They're just taking all the information and then still gonna do what they want to do. And of course, they're the devs, they can do what they want to do, but like, generally speaking, not listening to your audience is probably not a smart idea when you're making a piece of media. So I really hope that they listen to all the feedback that has been coming out recently from the YouTubers that went on the event. And this new alpha that's coming up really is an opportunity for a lot of feedback. So I really hope that they take that, because like, they could listen and say, we're listening, but like, you can't just say you're listening, you gotta actually do something with it. Like in the alpha that the YouTubers played, or the content creators or whatever, a lot of people complain about the fact that you couldn't change mods. So I really hope that they've already done something about that in the alpha. Like, show us that you are listening to the feedback. Like, that is really important right now, Bungie, because your game is at a pretty big split in the community, and you cannot be showing us stuff that makes us think you're not listening. You need to be listening as much as possible, because otherwise you really are not going to succeed. That is really my biggest worry right now, that Bungie will somehow, even after all this feedback, not change a thing. I really hope that isn't the case, because I'm excited for the game, but God, I'm worried, you know? And to Bungie's credit though, listening to feedback is not just listen and change everything you hear. Like, you gotta be able to sort what's actual feedback, what's just hate, what's way too like positive, and also what people actually want, and also like what is a logical change. Like, you can't, like, if you listen to one person that says, I want this, and then you go, okay, the community wants that. No, that's one person. You gotta listen to the whole crowd, and it's really hard to get a feel for the entire crowd when a lot of people will always tend to go to the extremes of like super positive or super negative. So it's hard to find those middle grounds where the true opinions lie that aren't actually extremes. But even then, Bungie, please listen to what people are saying as much as physically possible, and please give us a game that we want and not a game that you want to make.